Hello friends, today I want to show you my excavator that I made from the tracks that was demonstrated in the previous video. So I'm going to take this apart right now and then I'll assemble it so you can see how all the parts fit together. And it's actually quite a simple build, even though the unit looks fairly complicated. So if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to show you a magic trick, how to make a table disappear. So you'll want to see the end of this video. Okay, these are all the parts after I disassembled it. I actually did disassemble it to do this video. And doesn't look like so many pieces, does it? Took a little while to build all the little parts though, but after you see how it goes together, you get some kind of an idea how you can scratch build something. This is just entirely scratch built. I started with the tracks, which was done in the previous video, how to do those. Those are very easy to make. And then just went from there with the pieces of wood that I had around and ended up with a reasonably good project. So let's get started here. Okay, here goes. I explained a couple parts and pieces as I go along with. Like I said, I made the tracks first and then went from there. Then I made the track assembly with a back piece of wood, a center piece of wood, and two dowels, and then the outer piece. And those were made separately, and then made one from the other side, and then took a larger piece of wood and glued it in between. So now there's one on each side. Sanded it flat and it's ready to go. Instead of doing rollers, which would be normally on a track machine, is that I just made one piece of wood as a slide. It certainly made it a lot quicker and faster, because these toys are meant to be played with. In other words, in my words, they're toys that give joy. So let's put a track assembly on there. So I've got one here. Well, one thing before I do that, I should do this part first. I've got the center section, which I'm going to put on next, carries the upper rollers. And to do those, I took a little piece of dowel and made it smaller on each side. Took a screw, ground it off so there was lots of clearance, so it would spin easily there. And those will just be attached onto there. I use the screw rather than wood because it's the metal is a lot stronger. Now, I didn't mark this hopefully I got this right. And just put it on with 4 screws. Sometimes if you hit screws in, you have to repair the toy or take it apart. And that's all there is to that. Now, hopefully, we have to make sure we get the right one on the right side, because when you make those little parts to get your spacing there, you have to use one of the tracks with your, because you may try to make 2 tracks exactly the same length, but it usually doesn't turn out that way. You have to adjust them for And then 2 little screws will hold that in place. That way that can be taken off at any time. You can see how fast and easy this is to do. Make sure you get your track when you put the one on the, you get it going the right direction. And you just work that a little bit. You don't want your tracks too tight or they won't turn properly. I would have liked to have some sort of a track adjuster on this, like I did on the other 2 cats that I did, but there we go. And check for movement to see that they turn. Seem to work okay. And let's see, what else do we need? Okay. I guess, well, you're going to have to, this doesn't come, this was another piece of wood I had. It wasn't quite the right thickness. So I needed a round turntable anyway. So that'll fit onto there easy enough. And then the next part that we'll put these 2 pieces together here. This is your main part of the body. Just a solid piece of wood with some contrasting colors on there. And then I did a little bit of decorations on the side there for louvers, etc. You can see louvers there. And so that'll go on there quite easily there. So we'll just pop that in place there. And again, secure it with a few wood screws. I like these gyprock screws because they're thinner and aggressive. I'm using this drill, put the screws in so it'll go faster. Okay. And that's that part, and it's going to go right on the top of here. But yeah, I was just thinking there, but let's see, put that there. The cab, I think I could put the cab on right now. Just again made up with a little bit of, and a seat and everything. It's going to go on there. And we'll put that in there, screw that in. The trouble is I forgot to change my bit. I had 2 drills here so I wouldn't have to change bits, but that'll be screwed on there. And actually I have little screws here that go on there to hold the boom attachment there too. So I should put those in. I've got a few extra holes here for screws that I didn't use. Okay, so that's on. Okay. Now I believe we could probably assemble that. And that's the main body assembled. Okay, let's work on some of the other parts here. I guess we could work on the boom here. That goes in right there. The cab, I had it replaceable because I have to tap this pin in, and if you got it tapped in, you couldn't get it out if you needed to without taking the cab off, then you can pop it back through the other side. Okay, so I tried to be a little bit organized here, believe it or not. Okay, we'll put that in there. And we'll pop that through there. That'll go right through there. And this will go, maybe we can't do it that way, so let's put that back in there. Then we'll pop that in and bring that in there. And if we're able to, sometimes it's a little hard to find where the pins I had to shut the video off to, well, I got that first pin in there. We'll see if we can get this one in a little easier. Okay, that's a little better. And then this will go down into that little hole there and there. Okay. Now what I've done here, that goes into the hole, and then I put a nail into there. How I got that nail in originally was to take a, that's not quite lining up, so I'll show you how I did that. Use the drill. And just push it in like that. Now maybe I can just tap it in. And that'll give the little pin there. So then that holds there. And then if this works. Okay, I wanted that little bit stiff so it'll hold the boom up. Should do that. Okay. So that part's done now. Let's assemble this bucket part here. Okay, I'm going to put the bucket on first. The way this bucket, the mechanism for the bucket is it's got these two little pieces. You got on the side here where the arm attaches to. I've seen a lot of them with the cylinder attached right to the bucket, but to make it a little bit more realistic, and it isn't any harder to do, to make the actual thing there. So what you need is this little part here that has a little, the only extra part you have to build really of any difficulty is this piece here. And it's going to go near the bottom. You get a little nervous trying to go quickly, and that's where you run into problems. So there's that little extra piece there. And then all you need besides that is these little bars. And I guess I have to put this one in here first. You have to put that in first. Attach the bars, two little bars to the go. And then the next thing will be the cylinder. I got pretty excited there, and we'll attach the cylinder on Well, it might be better to do it on this end. Okay, we'll put that. That fell off there. Put that back in through there, and then we'll put the cylinder in. So this is probably the most difficult part about making this whole thing, is you got to line up all these three pieces here. Okay, there we go. Okay, now you can see how this thing actually works. It allows more movement of the bucket. It comes right out up to dump, and then when it's scooping, it can bring it around and bring it right around. If you don't make this little arrangement here, you can get lots of pictures of that off of images. It just doesn't work quite right. I think I put that in the wrong way. There we go. And that piece is put in there. You have to adjust, need a fairly long cylinder there, or else it'll run out of space there. That could, yeah, that'll go all the way to there, and then come out and all the way to there. So you get lots of movement by this little triangle of movement. And the only extra part is these two little bars and that little piece there. Very simple to make. Okay, now we're just about finished here by the looks of it. So we'll put that, attach the arm. There we go, and one last cylinder. Try to get this one together right this time. I think the long pin goes through here. Well, I guess not. That's a short pin. At my age, I forget. I got an excuse. I can forget which one to do. Okay, and we'll see if we can get this in without too many tries. Why is it the last one you get a little problems? Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, what do you think? Is it complete? I think we forgot a couple things. The engine will never run without a smokestack. A little smokestack, and you need clean air, so I'll put a clean air cleaner in there. And then the operator will never be able to get up on the top deck here unless we put a step for him. So there's our excavator. It'll go up fairly, that's about as high as I can get it. Right there. It'll come down and scoop on the ground, and then come right up with a bucket, and you can bring it right underneath there. These little cylinders, you need to make them tight enough that they'll hold the weight. What I did on these here, took a little piece of crazy glue and put a couple little dabs on there, and to get them a little stronger so it would hold the weight there. So that's what it looks like. We'll just swing it around here once here. The other side looks the same. And then I'll take a little close-up, and if you stick around, I'll show you a little magic trick how to make a table disappear. Okay, there's a couple of the other track machines that I built, experimenting building these tracks. The one on the excavator there is demonstrated on my last video there, where I really refined the method to make it easy. Anyway, I'll just give you a little close-up here. Here's the track assembly, of course, and the side of the excavator there, and the step, and the little piece of wood I put in there for the cylinders so they can pivot on there. And here's your upper boom. I totally just built this from a picture and my own ideas. The angle of the boom, I took that from a picture. And the cylinders I made myself. You can see how I did that little piece on the end of the ram there. Just cut a little slot in, take a little piece of metal, wood, and glue it in there, then sand it around smooth so it fits fairly nicely there. And one last shot of the bucket here with that mechanism, so you get a lot more movement on the bucket. It's just pretty well just as easy to build as putting the ram right onto the bucket. If you put the ram onto the bucket, it won't rotate very much. And we'll bring it around here, and a little shot of the controls there. Just simply made up out of little scrap pieces of wood. Works pretty good there. And the other side there, exhaust pipe, air cleaner, track assembly with the rollers. If you're not building to scale, and the little slide instead of rollers works really well. You could certainly make it a lot fancier than I did there and make it look like rollers, but this seems to work okay. So, final shot there. Go around the end of it. So, this is a moment that you've all been waiting for. The magic trick, how to make a table disappear. Okay, this table, I posted it on Lumberjocks some time ago. It's one that I did a refinish job on it. And now you're going to see how it disappears. Okay, so Ooga kabaga, booga waga. Anyway, we'll make this disappear. This table was originally bought by my wife's parents after they were first married. So that would be most likely sometime in the 40s. But to make this disappear, it's actually not really magic, but a little bit of ingenuity in those days. It consists of a series of leaves that just fit inside of a cabinet. The advantage of this, of course, was small place. You have a large table. It comes out to about 7 feet. And so there's all that part. And then this mechanism here. Person has to open the doors. We are using it kind of as a hobby table now in one of our back bedrooms there. And then this all just slides up. Abracadabra, it's disappeared. And then those close. And originally as a dining room table, we were using it for hobbies and puzzles and stuff, but then all your dishes, and actually there's a silverware drawer right here too. All your dishes and stuff went in there, and there we go. Totally disappeared. So thanks for watching, appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed my magic trick there. So keep building toys. Kids love them. They become something they can keep for a long time. I call my toys toys that bring joy for kids.